Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Fat Cat Collections, and today I want to share with you guys a product I just picked up. It's not a sponsored product. It's something I did buy, and you guys know a lot of times I get a lot of products to feature on the channel. That I work with a lot of different companies, and there's lots of products I feature that I just buy and I want to share with you guys. And so this has been reviewed by multiple dudes on YouTube. I wouldn't say that many. It's not really a really over the top product that where you're gonna get like a whole ton of people reviewing. But I thought it was just an interesting product and I wanted to share. Now I'm really big into firearms and self-defense items as well. I always like to layer my security and layer my protection. Now first off, I just want to state that a lot of times you're going to watch YouTubers and they'll talk about combat situations and life-threatening situations and all. Remember, nobody really knows how they're going to act in any given situation unless, of course, you've trained for that situation over and over again. And even then, you hope that repetition and training leads you to make the best choice, right? But ultimately, we're human beings, and we never know. There's been times, and I've gotten into many fights in my life, more than I could probably count at this point. But a lot of times, one thing I've learned about myself is you just never know how you're going to react. There's times in fights that I've been more the aggressor, and times when I wasn't. There's different situations in different settings. You just never know. It's always good to avoid trouble, but it's always nice to be prepared for trouble. In the terrible, these terrible situations, we hope they never happen. But I just want to be clear that when I do stuff like this or review these products, under no under no circumstances do I want you guys to think that, oh yeah, every single person who gets involved in the situation is going to know exactly what to do. And I hear it all the time and listen to people talk, especially dudes, when they're just like, oh, well, that was me, I would have done this. Motherfucker, you don't know how you're going to react in any given situation. Again, repetition, practice, training, those things all help, but when the shit hits a fan, it comes down to it, you really don't know. And after the fact, it's always good to talk about it and figure out what you might have done differently and how you might react differently, or what if you've had to, but your after report, But ultimately, it just, one never knows, especially if you're not used to ever being in a combat situation, or if you've never been in a fight, or if you've never been in a life-threatening situation. Again, nobody knows how they're going to react. Just keep that in mind. But with that being said, it doesn't mean I don't like to have certain tools of the trade. And so this device right here is a self-defense knife. And so this is by a company called KABAR. I think I'm saying that right. KABAR. I think some people call it K-A-B-A-R. When it comes to knives, I've seen dudes do reviews, and they're talking about how these $300 knife is great. It only for $300. This is a nice, affordable product, and KABAR is a company that's been around for a while. Do I think that you're getting some amazing quality knife compared to like an M-Tech off eBay? The amount of times you're going to use something like this in your life, are probably slim to none for what this is actually okay? Doesn't mean you can't use it as a tool as well, or a non-self-defense tool, but ultimately, I'm not a knife expert. I've had a lot of different knives over the years. I have a lot of knives in my collection, but ultimately, I'm not a heavy user. So, I use it on fishing, use it crabbing, use it for self-defense, just having something on me, use it as just kind of a tool, right? This is specifically designed for self-defense. So first off the bat, it's made of Kydex as far as the sheath. And I love Kydex sheets because you have a lot of options as far as how you want to carry this. There's all kinds of molly locks out there and different clips you can get. This comes with your standard kind of metallic belt clip. It has a kind of a hinged, or not hinged, but it has kind of a tab that sticks out on the bottom of the clip. So this allows you to lock this on your belt. You're not going to have to worry about this thing popping off. It's nice and secure. There's a nice, I'd say about a 45-degree angle to this blade, and there is a thumb, not a groove, but kind of a thumb indentation right on top. And it allows you to put your thumb there and pop this out with ease. And this is what the knife looks like. And I'll read you right off the Amazon listing where I picked this up from, where you can pick it up from as well. It's going to run you about $39. So for what you're getting, it's a little bit on the steeper side. I'm surprised that somebody hasn't duplicated these. There's companies like MTech and many other eBayers and Amazon companies making knives. I'm surprised, this isn't rocket science. You can definitely make something at a much better price, at a much more affordable price for the average user. Now, this is a law enforcement knife. It's specifically designed for law enforcement, and I encourage you guys after the video, if you want to know more about this knife, to check out some of the other guys who have reviewed this, guys who maybe can word it a little better than I'm wording it. But what I like about this knife is the ability to discreetly carry this on your belt and be able to pop this out at the moment's notice. It's got this nice groove where you can wrap your finger around it. It's very ergonomic. This sucker just is locked in your hand. Now, the idea in this knife, although it's cool looking, you might be saying, oh, well, what's the point of having a knife like that? It is an odd angle. So naturally, if you're using something like this as a tool, yeah, you can use it as a tool for cutting things and whatnot. Again, everybody's different when it comes to what they like to use, whether you're fishing or grabbing or cooking, whatever it may be. It's an odd shape. And the idea in this, the whole reason for this shape is because, to prove my point here, or to elaborate on my point, that in a situation, if you are carrying a firearm or somebody's trying to grab your weapon, and this is the rationale behind how they created this, and this is by TDI, TDI. And so TDI is a law enforcement, I guess, academy, tactical, I forget what it stands for, TDI. I've looked it up in the past here, forget exactly, I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But I think it's Tactical Defense Institute, if I remember correctly. And so they've had a hand in designing this knife for KABAR, or with KABAR, and the whole idea is to make something that was going to be kind of like a no-brainer in a combat situation. A situation, somebody's trying to grab your gun and you're holding them off, somebody's trying to hurt you in some sort of way. When it comes down to a flip knife, when your adrenaline starts pumping and you start shaking, and this is my point, if you're not used to being in those situations, I don't even know if you're in those situations non-stop, like in a combat situation, if you ever really get used to that. I honestly don't know. Military guys, drop a comment. But most people, and we see it all over the news every single day with cops overreacting and people overreacting in general, not to just, the cops, I'm glad we have them, you know what I mean? But things happen in a situation. Tempers get, emotions get rolling. We're human beings and we never know 100% how we're going to react. And a lot of times I know in situations that you can be, boxing with your buddy, you can be doing your mixed martial arts, whatever, calm and collective. But in a situation like a fight, I know there are situations when I've been in a fight in the past where, I'm shaking. I'm like, the adrenaline's pumping so much, it overwhelms you. And a lot of times if you're trying, your motor skills really take a hit there. I'm not saying everybody, but with a lot of people, it's human nature that we get upset, we get nervous, things are shaking, the adrenaline's pumping, and so it becomes harder to actually do what would normally be a simple thing, like grabbing another weapon, grabbing a knife to try to fend somebody off. And that's the whole real idea in this, is that it's for a police officer or somebody in law enforcement or security who has a firearm and somebody's trying to get their firearm. They can actually hold their hand on the firearm, prevent them from doing that, depending on which arm you or how you draw. For me, I probably like to keep this. A lot of times, if I'm not carrying a firearm, which I don't all the time, I like to carry kind of cross draw, even with some of those firearms. But on a knife, I always like to kind of keep it cross draw. My whole thing when it comes to carrying stuff like this is it has to be also comfortable. Getting in and out of the car. If you have something on the front here and you're sitting down, it just kind of digs right into your side. Again, if you're a super ripped, toned, thin guy, it may not bother you. Like my buddy, he wears this 45 1911 like in the front of his waist. I can't stand wearing a gun in the front of my waist. It's just, if I'm going to sit down, it's in the way, it's uncomfortable. I always like outside the waistband, honestly. With this, you can obviously select, decide where you want to carry this. You can have it cross draw. I can flip it the opposite way, have it side draw on the same side. It just really depends on how you want to carry this. I've seen some guys flip this where you can put it kind of a horizontal mount on the back, facing up. So the sky's kind of the limit on how you want to mount this. Only downside, I'd say, I wish they would have came with mounts with this that allow you to rotate this. That would have been a nice addition. But, they made it how they made it. So I love the knife. And the idea in this, again, is if somebody was trying to grab your firearm, in this case, if I was carrying a firearm, right? I probably want to carry this not cross draw, but like so. Okay, I'm just going to put it in my pocket for no, put it up here, put it on my waist. And so the idea in this is that I could hold the guy off, hold his hand on the firearm, prevent him from pulling my weapon, and turn around and pop this out with ease. And the idea in this is that because of its shape, because of how it fits your hand, they've kind of dumbed it down where you don't have to try to flip a knife open, try to unbuckle anything to get it out. It's made for you to, in a situation you're upset, your emotions are flying, your life is being threatened, you can fend somebody off with this. And the idea is that it allows you to kind of use it as like a claw and kind of slash. You can punch and penetrate. It's made to very easily fend somebody off by cutting, I guess, you know, the guy's tendons or cutting his arm if he's trying to attack your gun, punching again, however you want to fend somebody off who's trying to hurt you, you can do that with something like this. And again, the idea is that it's been dumbed down to make it something that's very easy to pop out and very easy to use in the situation that becomes life-threatening. So I like the idea of that, although, you know, $40 for this, there's a lot of great knives you can get for that price, but it is specific to their brand. They do have a few other ones if you want to get the serrated or a flat dark earth variation. You might save maybe $7. I wanted this one here because I didn't want the serrations. Because for me, I was probably going to use this also as a tool as well. And a lot of times I feel like, I don't know, just personal preference. Serrations are nice too, I guess. But I'll probably end up picking up another one. I like them enough that the company makes some really great self-defense items. I love the Kydex sheath. It's really nice. You know, you're not going to, it's not going to fail on you. It's very durable. If you've never had any Kydex sheets, they're great. I'm actually going to start to look into making my own because I have a few older knives I wouldn't mind, having a Kydex sheath on them. So pretty cool. It's affordable. It's really easy to with a little practice, manipulate it and create some pretty cool sheets for stuff. So anyway, guys, just want to give you guys my 2 cents on that. I think it's a great product. Again, I'm no expert when it comes to stuff, so if you want more information, it's always good. Like I said, guys, be a smart shopper. If you're looking to buy something, look at what other guys have to say, hear what other guys have to say about it. There's lots of guys out there who have reviewed this, who will give you kind of a different perspective on what the knife is designed for and what it's actually used for. But it's a great tool. I love having stuff like this. Again, what I like most about it, it's very discreet. Pop it on the belt, nobody can see it. It's very well hidden, and it's something that it's comfortable to carry as well. A lot of times if you're carrying, like my Buck Special, it's a big giant knife. I'll still always carry an in-pocket knife as well, but this is pretty cool. So check it out, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask. I'll try to help you any way I can. Give you guys the best of my 2 cents. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Drop a comment if you liked the video. Drop a comment if I could help you. Remember, subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, have a wonderful evening. Be kind to one another, and take care.